everyone to this exclusive Huawei workshop with a quick look of what's being developed in Huawei in the SD-WAN solution landscape. And to take the honor, I would request Mr. Lance Warden to come on the stage. Yeah, play the video.
As enterprise digital transformation accelerates, enterprise campuses are going global and cloud-based. In these new circumstances, traditional branch networks can no longer keep up with ever-changing services. And SD-WAN has become the best choice for change. But what kind of SD-WAN network is the right one for your organization? Can your SD-WAN network quickly connect branches and clouds, allowing 24/7 access to users anywhere around the world? Is your SD-WAN network capable of guaranteeing experience for applications that have been migrated to the cloud? Can your SD-WAN network cope with explosive growth of branches, users, and applications, and the ever-growing O&M difficulties that come with it? This is where Huawei SD-WAN solution comes in. Huawei SD-WAN solution helps you interconnect multiple clouds with one network that provides high-quality experience and intelligent O&M. This solution has three significant advantages. First, one network is connected to multiple clouds for 24/7 access anywhere. Second, intelligent traffic steering and optimization ensures the experience of mission-critical applications. Third, intelligent O&M reduces OPEX. Huawei SD-WAN networks can be accessed in many ways, including through MPLS, an internet connection, or 5G, enabling large-scale networking of tens of thousands of sites, regardless of whether your services are deployed on the cloud or on premises. Access between branches and clouds is more flexible than ever, and services can be quickly migrated to the cloud. Huawei SD-WAN provides a broad range of application-based intelligent traffic steering and optimization technologies to prevent applications from preempting bandwidth and interfering with key applications. For example, AFEC eliminates video buffering even at 30% packet loss. Built-in security capabilities ensure secure multi-cloud application experience. All devices, including switches, Wi-Fi devices, and campus egress routers, can be managed centrally with just one iMaster NCE, doubling O&M efficiency. Huawei has deeply engaged itself in the IP field for more than 20 years and has served thousands of enterprise and carrier customers. Huawei SD-WAN solution builds branch networks that provide secure 24/7 global access, optimal service experience, and simple O&M for enterprises, accelerating their digital transformation.
Thank you. We believe that was quite insightful. Now, as part of this exclusive event, we would like you to invite to join Huawei IP Club membership. We'll run a video and then we'll tell you exactly
As enterprise digital transformation accelerates. A quick look at the IP Club community. As an IP practitioner, you are eager to keep up with IP industry developments. Stay informed of the latest IP products and solutions, and hold discussions with technology thought leaders worldwide. The IP Club helps you do all this. Get first-hand event information, learn about industry trends and popular technical topics, and connect with technology thought leaders, all in the IP Club. Here, members have their own community, where they can all ask questions, provide feedback, share ideas, connect with like-minded peers, talk with global IP technology experts, dive into the ocean of knowledge, easily resolve issues, and quickly sign up for both online and offline IP Club events. They can also earn points, upgrade their memberships, exchange points for gifts, and and enjoy other exclusive benefits. What are you waiting for? Scan the QR code to sign up. The next IP Club member is you.
Isn't it exciting? And I believe all of you have this membership form on your tables. Please scan the QR code which is on the left to register as a member, and then you may proceed to Huawei booth and flash your e-membership card, which you can see it here. And after the workshop is over, you can go to the booth and do the next step. So now, that is to collect your exclusive token of appreciation from Huawei after the workshop. Now we would like to introduce our Huawei experts. I will name them in order. Mr. Lars Zande, who is Solution Architect Huawei. Mr. Ahmad Mustafa Ahmad Hassan, Regional Channel Solution Manager, and Mr. Mohammad Badr Farooq, Solution Manager. Now we'll see exactly how it works.
So, welcome everyone. Well, welcome. That was in this morning, of course. Thank you for staying. I think that is the appropriate thing now to say. What I will do is I will take you through the Huawei SD-WAN solution, the different highlights of the solution, what the key components are, so you have a little bit of understanding of the Huawei SD-WAN solution that we're showing outside and that we'll be presenting in our presentation. And my colleague Faisal already talked about it this morning, of course, in the keynote session. But what kind of technologies are included and what kind of products are included in that solution? So I will take you through that. Let me see if, there we go. First of all, and that is, I think, why we're here, is why are we doing SD-WAN? Why do we need SD-WAN? What are the challenges that we're facing? So we're facing challenges in costs. That is, we have a lot of MPLS links, for instance, different type of connectivity. How can we make sure that we're optimizing the links that we have, we're optimizing the connectivity that we're having in the best possible way? Second thing is we still have more and more services. We have more and more applications. We already heard the panels talk about that. Different kind of services, things are changing, digital transformation. We need to be nimble, we need to be fast, we need to be able to roll out different services, different applications to the users in a fast way. And if we're using traditional technologies, that is most of the time a challenge. Last but not least, if we're rolling that out, we have multiple different sites, we have multiple different links, we have multiple different applications. Operation and maintenance becomes an issue. So how can we have a proper operation and maintenance platform as well, making sure that with all the kind of applications, all the different types of sites, but also the amount of links that we're having in certain sites, we can manage that in a proper way. Those are real challenges. Customers I talk with, at least one of these is always coming into play. Certain customers have mainly a concern for the last one, for operation and maintenance. Other ones have the rising WAN cost or just the services that they're playing with. And some of the customers are actually having issues with all three of them. So what is Huawei's solution for this? And we talked about that. We have SD-WAN solution. As you can see here, and this is just an overview, and I will go deeper, a little bit deeper into what this brings for you. But as you can see here in the bottom, all the different kind of branches, all your different kind of locations, also into the cloud, in public cloud, private cloud, that type of connectivity, we have all that. Customers have that. You have that. But how do I connect that? How can I make proper use of those different type of links? You have different type of links. Traditional, we were doing active standby. You're not using half of your links. You're not making optimal use of that network that you're having. So that is what you see with our solution. We can make a proper SD-WAN solution. We have a complete portfolio for the routing, the routers and the SD-WAN solution, our hardware components. Also, what I was talking about, the challenges that we're having with, for instance, applications, the application identification is important. How can you make sure that the applications are using the right connectivity? And then also making optimal use of those different links. I was talking about up to 10 links that you can have. How can we bundle that? How can we make sure that it's not complex like we used to have? So all of that in our solution we have taken into account. And this is, my colleague Faisal already showed this in the morning, this slide. This is essentially where you see, and I have 3 points there, or we have 3 points on the slide, the challenges. Traffic. If you have a bandwidth, at least if you take from a carrier, if you take a link, you sign an SLA with the carrier. If you take an MPLS link. If I'm using an internet link, if I'm using a 5G or 4G, I do not even have that guarantee. So this is where SD-WAN comes in. With SD-WAN, you can start addressing those SLAs. You can start, guaranteeing certain type of bandwidth, certain type of connectivity, certain type of quality of service for your application. And to do that, you need to have intelligent application traffic steering. So that is one of the key points that we're doing. Second thing is, I was talking, active standby links. You want to use your links. If I have 2 links, I want to use them at the same time. So that is where load balancing comes in. And I will explain exactly how we do the load balancing. And the other point that we're having here is you might have services that always need to be transported. There cannot be any loss of information during the transportation of the data. And that is also where we have a technology, what we call multi-FAT and selective receiving. I will explain that as well in this session. But it's also what we're doing in our solution, making sure that for the high quality traffic, we have that, that possibility to always receive all of the data at the end. Now coming back to the hardware platforms, we didn't introduce any new hardware platforms for our SD-WAN. We have our routers, all the connectivity types in our routers. So you see sometimes you see platforms where you only have an Ethernet connection or maybe an LTE connection. We're using our routing platforms. Those routing platforms, they have all the type of connectivities. So that is one of the benefits that we have. Doesn't matter what type of connectivity you have, we can connect into it. The other thing that we're doing, like I said, we're using our routers. We're using not something exotic. We're not using proprietary protocols. We're using SD-WAN as an additional functionality on our routing platforms. So with the types of networks that you currently are using without SD-WAN, just a routed network, you will be able to do the same. You're just running SD-WAN on top of it as a service. So with that, you're very flexible in deployment. As we already, and my colleague Faiz already said, we have different kind of deployment modes. Even if you have one router in a branch, we can connect that with different type of connectivity modes, dual routers. All of that interconnectivity is there, and also for the legacy sites. And what we're calling legacy sites, if you're doing a transformation and if you have multiple different branches, you're not going to do it overnight. We're talking about, in the previous session, about 2,500 different locations. That is not something that you do that within a day. It's not something you do that within a month. it takes time. So you need to have an easy way of transforming your network without adding a complete separate network. So that is also where we have, and that's what we call legacy side interconnection. You still have that as well. And then to make life simple, you want to have zero-touch provisioning or plug and play to get everything set up easily. Let's see, next slide. There we go. So, key thing, application recognition. Because if I can recognize the applications, I can start steering the applications over the different links that I have. So that is the first thing that we need to have. Application identification. We can identify with our solution over 6,000 applications. We can identify custom applications. We can identify encrypted applications. So all of that is needed so you can make optimal use of all the different links that you have. Second thing is, I need to have a proper detection mechanism to figure out if my links are working properly. If I have latency, if I have packet loss, I need to know that. So we have protocols for that, IPFPM in this case, to make sure that we can detect those kind of issues, packet loss, latency, instantly and very precisely. So we can take the right action whenever a value, whenever a latency or a packet loss is higher than a certain value. And last but not least, based on that information, that is where we start doing the application steering. So making sure that if an application is going over a link, it is within the parameters, it is making use of the most optimal link. And this is essentially, in a nutshell, how we do. So I talked about the link quality, so that is the first thing that we check. We're checking the link quality. I can do that for all the applications. I can do that for a specific set of applications or for a specific application. So I can go granular. I can go granular to define, okay, I want certain applications to go over a certain link and steer them accordingly. So that is number 2. But on top of that, let's say I have voice going over the link. If voice is going over the link and my main link is, there are issues with my main link, it goes over my other link. Okay, is there enough bandwidth available? It's your high priority traffic. So you still need to have that bandwidth allocation as well. So that is the last part that you see on this slide. So all of that combined, we can do in the single platform, in the single configuration, to make sure that everything keeps on working and you keep within your SLAs that you have defined. So then on the load balancing part, I talked about that. You want to do proper load balancing. You want to make optimal use of your links. Now that is where you see most of the time that flow-based, and that's what you see here, flow-based load balancing is being used. So you have one user that starts a session, that goes over the first link. You have the second user, he will go over the second link. That is not making optimal use of your links. We can do that as well, but we can also do something that we call per packet load balancing. As you can see here, user 1 goes on the link and his packets might go over both of the links. Same for user 2, it might go over both of the links. At the end, we will reconstruct it. So in this case, we have in the bottom of the links, we have a lossy link, so there's some packets that are not preferred to go there. We send it over the high quality link. There's more traffic going over the high quality link. In the end, we put all the packets back in order. The flow is there as well. So that is something that with traditional routing is, let's say, a little bit of a foreign concept because you get asynchronous routing, you get packets in a different order. In SD-WAN, since we're bundling all those links together, we're able to reconstruct that at the end. So we're making something on top of the routed network. So and that is something that you need to understand. SD-WAN, you essentially need to forget traditional routing. You have one logical link between your two locations. Another thing that I highlighted is the multi-thread and selective receiving. So if I have multiple different, let's say, lower quality links, then I can choose to use those two lower quality links in a, I would almost say, the word that that's maybe more accurate is replication. I will start replicating on the start. I will replicate my stream of data on both of the links. So essentially duplicating the traffic on both of my links. If I lose any packets on either of the links, I might get certain packets not from link 1, I might get certain packets not from link 2. So what we do in the end, and you can see that here, we have certain packets that we have received from link 1, we have certain packets that we have received from link 2, and we just see, okay, where are the gaps? We reconstruct it, you still have your information there. So with that, you can still run high performance or high available applications that always need to be there over lossy links. So that's another benefit that we have in our solution. And then also mentioned before, we have something that is called adaptive forward error correction. Now, what does that mean? Nice technical terminology, but in the end, it essentially gives you a technology that will be able to reconstruct video data even if you have packet loss. Even if you have up to 30% packet loss, you have a single link between your two locations, you can lose 30% of data and still have a smooth video. And this, and I have customers asking specifically about this, SD-WAN is essentially, it makes the most sense if you have two links. But let's say one of the links fail and you still need to have, you have only a lossy link available. And you want to have that video. I can lose 30% of my packets because we're sending additional packets with the original packets. Nice technical benefits on the SD-WAN side and on the traffic transport. But another benefit, and you saw that in in the first slide, from a management perspective. Management is very important. How can I manage all of that? How can I manage all those different links? How can I manage all those different sites? That is where our platform comes in. iMaster NCE comes in. You can see that here on the slide. One single platform where we manage the SD-WAN, but not only the SD-WAN. We also manage the campus part. So if you have a branch, you have a router, you have switches, you have access points. We manage that from the same platform. So we do not have multiple different platforms to either manage SD-WAN or either manage campus. I can roll that out with, and you will see that in the next slide, just with a few clicks. So it's a simple management platform for everything that is encompassing the WAN connectivity as well as the campus part. Makes your life a lot easier to do all of that from one single management platform. And that is where what we call LAN-WAN convergence comes in. That LAN-WAN convergence gives you that simple possibility. And as you can see here, we have in our platform, and you can also see it in the demo, we have a simple GUI, a simple wizard to walk you through those different steps. You need to do, of course, first the router configuration, your egress configuration. How is it connected into your carrier network? That is the first step. Second step is you need to do your LAN configuration. How are my switches configured? What is the configuration for that? How is the configuration for my access points? Third part, I need to interconnect my LAN part with my WAN part. So that is your LAN and WAN port route, third step. Once you've done that, your hardware is ready for the communication. After that, you will set up your SD-WAN policies. So 4 simple pages, and you have your SD-WAN setup and your LAN setup, all done from a simple wizard in our GUI. And I said, last step is the application steering, and you can see that this is one page. One page where you do your application steering. You can decide if it is for one application, if it's for multiple different applications. You will put in your parameters. When do I need to fail over? Or when do I need to switch to a different link? My delay, my packet loss. All of that I can configure. We have certain pre-configuration there, but you can configure it yourself as well. Then you select your links. Over which links do I want to transport my traffic? Because if I have multiple links, I can choose if I want to use all of the links, or maybe just a subset of the links. Also possible. Very flexible. And last but not least, and it might not be completely clear to view, but last but not least, you have the load balancing that you can set up. You have also the bandwidth that you can set up, like I was discussing before. So all of that in a single page. So that is the simplicity of management. And then we talked about also SASE, we talked about security. This is where security also comes in. So from a security platform perspective, our management platform, our iMaster NCE platform, that is where we do the configuration from, and that is where we collect the logging from the devices. That platform communicates with SSH to the different routers. So completely encrypted. The configuration is done by a netconf protocol, latest configuration protocols that we're using, fully encrypted communication. Logging that is going back, it's going over HTTPS, also encrypted. Then the links that we have between the routers is IPsec, encrypted. We are doing also for the information exchange to make sure that everything has the right information from a routing perspective. We're using BGP EVPN, DTLS encrypted. And then last but not least, we have the routers, the CPEs. They have firewall built in. They have IPS built in. They have antivirus built in. All of that in the platform. So there is not a single part in the solution that is not secured. All of the different components and all of the different communication mechanisms are all secured. And even if I want to segment different virtual networks, my different virtual networks over my IPsec connection, I can segment different virtual networks and transport that over my IPsec network. And then we have introduced, last year already, we have introduced 5G in our routers. We're having the 5G card in our platforms. We have multiple different platforms where we support 5G. We are delivering that. We have been delivering that since last year as well as, I think, one of the few in the market. And that platform or that card can be used in our 6000 series routers. Like I was saying, we're not using any special equipment for our SD-WAN. We're using our routers. So these are our routers. And this is also where we're running the SD-WAN on. So these are the SD-WAN platforms. 5G card, if you want that, we can put it into our SD-WAN routers. But we also did some specific things in our SD-WAN routers, in our 5G part. So we have something that is called the super uplink. We're bundling 2 frequencies in our 5G. We also use our card in a dual active mode. Not transporting data at the same time, but the cards are both active. If one of the cards fails, since the other card is already active, it immediately starts transporting data. So there is no loss in traffic because that card is already active. Last but not least, it is a future-proof card. You can do non-standalone, which is what essentially the carriers are doing today. You can do standalone, which is the next phase of 5G. So our card is ready for that as well. And then my last slide is the portfolio. So this is the actual portfolio that we have. And like I said, if you want to do just basic routing, I will show you the same slide. So this is our routing platforms. If you want to do SD-WAN, these are our SD-WAN platforms. Same platforms. And that ranges from the smaller ones here in the bottom all the way up to the bigger ones in the top that you would use for your hub sites. And then in the top, you see that on the right, we have the card, but we also have a specific modem that can be used with any of the routers. So even with these small ones, if you want to use 5G, we have that 5G modem that can be used to make sure that you can do 5G with any of the platforms. And with that, I'm at the end of my presentation and at the end of my time. So I want to thank you very much for your attention. And I think my next colleague is up. Thank you.